Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Thursday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope you're well. If you've been following along for the past few days, you know that I've been away to a women's camping meetup and it was a huge amount of fun. This is with the Butterfly Tribe of women campers. And we were at Hopeville Pond in Connecticut, which is a beautiful campground, and I had a great time. And one of the things that I wanted to do, but I didn't get around to doing because there was just so much going on, was to make name tags for everybody. So I did a little bit of prototype making, but I'm going to see if we can come up with an even better design today. So this is going to be a design on the fly plan. And I just wanted to point out over there, you see that? That is the critter that keeps, oh, there she goes. That's the critter that keeps making off with my kneaded erasers. And I don't know where she's hiding them, but they're around somewhere. So I have to follow her one of these days and see what she's up to. So this is going to be a fairly short video today. This is going to go pretty quick, but I wanted to come on and share this with you because I think it's a lot of fun. So let's look down and see what I'm doing. Oops, let me get my sign out of the way here. There we go. Okay. All right, so these are a couple of the very simple prototypes that I made. Now, they're basically two different kinds of name tags. They're the ones that are on the lanyard that you can pop inside a plastic sleeve. And then there is the plain name tag that you can just slip a clip through, like this one. And then there's the in-between, which is the plastic sleeve and the clip, which is probably the most popular. But I'm going to just go with the very basic paper one today because it's so easy and it's so much fun to make. So I think I need to zoom you in a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so this was a prototype. This is just a basic 2-layer tag. I've got my black cardstock that I rounded the corners, and then I just added a piece of white to write the name. And then I added some punched out butterflies, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of spritz on there to give them some shine, so it's pretty cute. And these clips you can get on Amazon. There's all different deals that you can get depending on how many you need for your particular group or meetup. So I'm just checking for a moment. I'm just looking at my stream here, make sure it's working, and it looks like it is. Hey Kelly, hey Linda, thank you for joining me. So let's get started. So I'm going to begin with a black base, and I'm going to measure. Now I want to have the option of putting the tag inside the sleeve as well. So the inner sleeve measures, well, if you want to be really precise, it's about 4 1/4 by 3 and maybe 1/8. But if you make it too big, it's a struggle to get it in there. So I'm going to keep it at 3 by 4. I'm going to use my trimmer. Come out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so here we go. 3 by 4. So that's my base. And I think I will go ahead and round the corners. It's an added step, but it makes it a little bit easier to push the tag into the sleeve if that's what you choose to do. go. And I have a piece of DSP. This is a retired piece of DSP, but I like that it has the butterflies on it. Okay, so that looks like that. And I'm going to trim that down to looks like, let me double check here, 3, 2.5, so it's a 1/2 inch smaller, so this is going to be 3.5, and I want to catch some of these butterflies around the edge, so I'm going to cut it on this side. And do my corner rounding. That's going to go on there like that, and that looks really cute. So let's glue that down. There is another meetup coming up that I'm going to be attending. This one is back in New Hampshire again, and it's with Lulu's Way, and that's LULU'SWAY, and you can find her on Facebook and get all the information about that meetup coming up at the end of August. So that might be something that you're interested in doing. All right, so there is my base. Now obviously I need a place to be able to write a name. Maybe it doesn't need to be quite as big as that. So let's say something in the vicinity of 2.5 by, let's try 2.5 by 1.5 and see how that looks. I'm using the standard weight white paper. This is not the thick, because we've already got several layers. I don't think it's necessary. And that looks nice. That'll work just fine. And now I would say that rounding the corners with this is optional, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And I'm going to go ahead and try to write my name neatly. And you might want to add, if it's a event where you've got people coming from different places, you might want to add the state that they're from. So I'm going to add Connecticut on there. Another reason for adding the name before you glue it down is you can see that the marker is coming through a little bit, so you might want to take that into consideration. It may or may not be an issue. And actually, I think I'm going to put this off center because I want to add a butterfly to the upper left corner. So I'm just going to scooch this over a little bit. That's a technical term. All right, give that a quick burnish. And I have an assortment of butterfly punches, and I'm sure you do too. If you don't have the punches, you probably have some dies. But I already have several cut out here ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one. And I see I've got a black base. I wonder, I'm going to double that up just because I happen to have that handy. You know, when you're taking your tag on and off, it can get a little bit rough around the edges. So if I make this a double layer, it's just going to help to give it a little bit of extra support, because I do want to bend this up so it's got a little bit of a 3D effect. And to do that, I'm just going to grab my ruler and place it to the side of the body, and then just give it a little flip. Now the glue is still damp, so there's a little bit of give. If the glue had dried already, then it might be a little bit harder to do that. And so that gives me a little central area to apply some more glue. So I'm just going to put a thin, very thin line. You don't need much. This glue is very strong. And let's see, I'll have the butterfly going in this direction. A little press. Now I have a couple of sequins here. These are some iridescent sequins, and I'm going to add a few of those around because who doesn't like a little sparkle? You can use whatever embellishments you happen to have in your stash. I thought the sequins would be good because they are a little bit flatter than some of the other gems. So if I did want to slip this into a clear envelope, it would just make it that much easier. Now you may be wondering, okay, what do you do for that slot to put the clip through? Well, I have a very cool slot maker. So this is great, and all you need to do, make sure you've got it on the top, not the bottom. Slip that in, kind of eyeball it so that it looks like it's centered. Let go. What's it caught on? Oh, here we go. There we go. So it's perfect slot, and that is just the right size for one of these clips. These clips are kind of interesting. They've got a snap on them, which makes it super easy. Okay, so I'm going to go through the front, put that through, snap it together, and there is my name tag ready to go. Alright, so I think that's really cute. It goes pretty fast. Now, of course, you could add more butterflies, more embellishments, more of whatever it is that you happen to have to hand. I have this big butterfly, and I was kind of playing with the idea of putting that on there. So since I have it, let's just go for it. Just happens to fit, and I have a few of these left over. This was one of the elements that I used to create the butterfly dangles, and they came out really cute. Everybody loved them. If you'd like to see the how-to video on the butterfly dangles, you can look on my YouTube page, which is, I should say channel, I guess. So that would be Dandelion Cottage Design on YouTube, and you can see how I made those. And you'll also be able to find the complete list of materials there. So look at that. I mean, that fits just perfectly. How fun is that? Scooch it over a little bit. All right. And go ahead and give that a little bit of a rub. I don't want to rub this too hard because it is embossed, so you can see it's got some nice raised surfaces there. Okay. All right, so there it is. There's my quick and easy name tag that that can be a lot of fun to make with a group. So you also have the option of flipping this this clip around if you'd like. I'm just going to put it so that I'm going to swivel it so it's facing towards the side. See if I can get this on camera. Clip it onto the corner of my shirt, and there we go. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I'll be back next week for Watercolor Wednesday at 12 noon right here, followed by Paper Crafting Thursday also at 12 noon. And this weekend I'm going to be participating in the Weekend in Norfolk Haystack Mountain Paint Out. So there is a festival coming to my town. We entertain hundreds of visitors that come for all kinds of wonderful activities and fun things going on. And I'm going to be right in the center of town with my watercolors and a bunch of friends painting the beautiful view from the front of the post office. So if you're around, please stop in and say hi. If you are a painter, please join us. There's information on my Facebook page of how you can register for the event, and a lot more information. So please check that out. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.